Good morning. Welcome to Home Sweet Gardens. My name is Amy. We are located in Northwest Missouri, Zone 6A. A lot of things have been happening. Things are really starting to produce. Weeds are coming on like crazy. So I wanted to show you a few different things. Some things that have ended their cycle and I have now started a new one. And little surprise in the grapes that are starting to change a lot too. So if you're new here, welcome. Click the subscribe button to see more videos, the like button if you like the video, and the notification bell to get notified when new videos are put up. I do a garden tour once a week, and then I put on other videos, things that I think that you might enjoy or want to see. If you're not new and you are returning, welcome back. We love having you. Without further ado, here we go. Okay, so the first thing I want to say is pardon the grass growth. I have not mowed this week. It has been so hot, and with all the things that are going on right now, I just haven't had time. So the grass is actually just ridiculously high. Here are some of my one sunflower that's growing in my lettuce bed, and you can see how tall it's gotten. So it's probably doubled since last week. You can see, go from the box here and give you an idea of how large that is. Hasn't put on the flowers yet, but should be here pretty soon. So each one of these little flowers is going to bloom, and that's where all those seeds are going to be. You can see all the way around when you're going through all of them. This one's got quite the large little cluster on them, and that's going to give us seeds. All right. There's a couple more sunflowers. Now this was where the carrots were. Remember, I left a couple of them to go to seed, which this one right here, which is getting tangled up in my trellis. There it is. It's a pretty little flower. It doesn't really smell. Nope. But that will all be seeds. So I'll be able to keep those and have carrot seeds to be able to plant carrots again next year or in the fall or whenever I want to plant them. Alright, so I ripped out all the old carrots and I put in Dragon Tongue beans. They're the ones I was supposed to do last time, but I ended up messing up. You can see in here where there were still some carrots. There's one right there that I never ended up taking out. I left them in there. They're not going to hurt anything as far as the production of the beans. I will have to take them out of there though before I do any type of tilling or anything. But I didn't want to have to disturb the ground too much when I put the beans in, so I left them there. Okay, my Purple Queen beans, they're doing very well. I've been getting a good production of them every night. So I like them about this size, maybe a little bigger. I don't particularly like them too much bigger because they get tough, I think. But they're quite the prolific bean plant. So if you're looking for something that's going to give you quite a bit with not as many plants, these are the ones. They do a really good job, and they're very tasty, mild, not as strong as some of them that I've had in the past. Okay, so I told you I was going to give you a treat in the garden. Mama's very mad. I'm going to get you in here so you can see without disturbing her too much, because I don't really want to interfere with her too much. Get in here. There she is. Is she going to focus? Can you see it? There's the baby. She's so cute. Okay, Mama. So anyway, other than the baby bird growing, my grapes are doing very well. Trying not to get too hopeful that I'll actually get some grapes, but they are looking delicious. They've got a lot farther to go, but still, they're cute. They're good. My autumn fires are getting ready to bloom. And they'll put on these beautiful little clusters that'll be like a pinkish red. And then they, as it goes on through the summer towards the winter, or towards the fall, they'll turn a brownish, almost like a burnt orange type color. And they stay there all the way through the winter. And so they're really pretty. And then they die down in the winter, fall down all the way, and then they regrow back up every summer. And they get fuller and fuller. You can divide them. That's how you get new plants. You just cut down in with a sharp spade and divide them like you would any other bulb type plant. And I need to do that, and I will probably do that this spring, and put them in and fill in the gaps in between. So I'll have a full row of them across here. Okay. My Brussels sprouts are putting on their little bitty heads. You can see there. They're a long growing plant. They have a long growing season, so they take quite a while, but they're coming in nicely. My boraz is looking pretty sad. I don't know. I think the dirt was a little bit too loose here, maybe, for it. I'm not sure, because the other one doesn't look quite as sad as this one. It could just be towards the end of its cycle, though, too. And then there's more my Brussels sprouts and my grapes. So little birdie is right there in the grapes there. And as you can see, like all the leaves are stuck up high because I didn't really trim it there. And most of the time she will come and sit in this peach tree and squawk at me the whole time I'm down here. But right now she's over in a farther tree. Okay, so in the main portion of the garden, I have my trellis here that my cucumbers are starting to climb up. And then there's that one there that'll have the beans. And then here's that one that has the squash. So we'll go start over there with the squash first. I want to give you guys an outside view of it, what it looked like from the outside of the trellis. You see how giant those leaves are, massive, and the flowers are just absolutely gorgeous. Now I have two plants on the right side here, and I have two plants on this side. But this side, they have always been a lot slower to grow. Very odd. I don't understand why. I mean, obviously the soil composition is always a little different in each bed, but it shouldn't be so much different. But anyway, definitely smaller. They were all four planted at the same time. They all four were the same size plants when I planted them from the same packet of seeds. So I don't know. Uh-oh. Do you see that? That is trouble. Maybe I don't have shoes on. I really don't want to squish them with my toes, but I don't want them getting away either. Yuck. Okay, sorry. Alright, so here's my butternut squash plant doing very well. I've had, and I'm not the only one that talks about this because on my garden forums they're talking about this a lot too. This right here, if I can get this off here to show you. That. This is the second one so far I have found. And I'm not sure why. It could be a lack of pollination, but that's what some people are saying. But if there was no pollination, I don't believe that the fruits would have gotten this large. So I think it's more of either too much water at the wrong point in their growth period. I'm not sure. But the second one on that one, I've had some on the grapes, or I'm sorry, on the cucumbers. So I'm not real sure what's going on. But at any rate, we do have some really pretty fruits on it. And look at it, let me go this side where there's no sun. Here we go. And just look how it's climbing on this trellis. I mean, it is happy as can be. Look at that. Fruit on there. Just happy as can be climbing across. And it'll get to a point to where they'll be wrapping in and around each other on this trellis. And they'll barely get to be able to get through here. So lots of fruits on it. As the fruits get bigger, then I'll have to secure them with pantyhose and tie them to the trellis to hold them, so that, because they'll get so big they won't be able to, the vine won't be able to hold on to them. But as you can see, we're not quite there yet. There's one there. Yep, so quite a few. Alright, my bell pepper plants are doing well. I've gotten a few bell pepper off of them. Got one last night. My okra is doing really well. Got some okra starting to come onto it. You can see there. Very exciting stuff. Peas are getting to be about the end of their life cycle. They're starting to get some powdery type mildew on them, and they're dying out. I'll be ripping them out here pretty soon. It's just too hot for them. They don't like this kind of heat. I don't blame them. I don't either. My Asian long beans are doing really well. You can see they're starting to climb up the trellis here. So they've gone up this rope that or this string, I should say, that I put up here. And gone up the string, and then they wind up now they're winding up the metal trellis, which is what I was wanting. And they'll go up and around, and they're on this side and the other side as well. So far I have not seen any beans on them. I was told by another person that grows them that they'll put beans on and they do it quick, and they get long really quick, so you have to keep an eye on them. So I've been looking and watching every day, but I haven't seen any beans yet. I think right now they're still focusing on the growth, getting their tendrils out and getting long and tall. Now this is a beautiful example of a head of lettuce that has bolted and gone to seed. All those little flowers right there. They're going to flower, bloom, and the blooms will die off, and that now will be seed. So, perfect example. It's really easy to do. It doesn't take much. They do it on their own. You just let them go. Alright. Now my eggplant plants here, right there, and there. I got 3. That's just a tray of different stuff I was growing that I never got planted. Shame on me. Kohlrabi is doing really well. I've gotten a couple off of them so far, but they're doing well. My beets are almost done. I've got a few left here and there. I'm waiting for them to get a little bigger. And then my cucumbers are doing very nicely. Here's one that's getting ready. He'll be ready here pretty soon. These are pickling cucumbers, so they don't get very large. They can get gigantic, don't get me wrong, but you don't want to let them, I should say. Don't let them get very large, because they get bitter. They don't taste very good, I don't think. So, yeah. My zucchini plants. So I tied them up last week and got them all tied. This will show you how much they've grown since, oh, you little jerks. Okay, I'll show you how much they've grown since I've tied them up just last week. So in a week, they have gotten that big from here down to the ribbon. That's how much they've grown. And so I've got to come out today. I didn't bring it with me, but I got to come out today and bring out my ribbon and tie them up. And my squash plants. These things just look sad. I don't know why they always have. They're producing. They're just not very bright green. They're this light, odd green color. Anyway, here's some more zucchini, my zucchini plants. I just love the flowers. I think zucchini flowers are just absolutely beautiful. But you see these nice, big, massive green leaves on them. That's indicative of a very, very happy plant. And yes, I have squash bugs. I don't know that anybody that doesn't have them, but you maintain them. It's one of those things where you know you're going to be living with them, so you do your best to keep them off as much as possible, and you know, it's management is what it is. Comes down to. There's no way of complete elimination. It's just constant management. My strawberries, of course, have been done for quite some time now, and they'll start to turn red. They get this almost like a rust color. They do that every year. My onions are very sad looking. They're pretty much done. Some of them have gotten pretty big, some of them have not. I put them in late, so they didn't have the opportunity to get as big as what they could have if I had started them earlier. Do you hear that? Here, now look at this. Yes. Small town America. Okay. So again, back to the onions. It's like I was saying, they were planted a little bit later. I got a late start on them, so they're pretty much done. You see how they're folded over, so even though they're not real big, that doesn't mean they're not edible. They're just not very big bulbs, but you can still eat them. Man, I need to weed eat. This is terrible. Okay, here is my mixed flower bed here. No flowers yet, but oh wait, what's that? There's a little bitty flower of something. I don't know what it is. There's one little flower. Okay. I think there's some weeds in there, but I'm not going to pull anything yet because I'm not for sure. That is a mushroom. Don't want that. With my pretty little climbing rose. Oh. It's doing very well. Very happy. My corn starting to get bigger. My mammoth sunflower plants. I love sunflowers. They're so pretty. Roselle reds. My elephant ears that I just stuck in there, and I don't know. They kind of weird. They don't do a lot. And then this, again, pardon the grass. I haven't mowed, so it's crazy big right now. But here's my rose bush that only had the one stalk and just was looking pretty sad. Well, look at it. It's got all this new growth. So it's obviously very happy. It likes where it's at. I just need to make sure I don't hit it with the mower anymore. That wasn't very good for it. Pears, doing well. The tree is just, poor thing, just absolutely overloaded with these little pears all over it. Now, from what I understand, pears fall off the tree when they're ripe. You don't pick them like you would any other fruit. It's a little disconcerting considering that the tree is over 30 foot tall. I'm a little afraid of when they decide that they're ripe and they want to fall. I'm going to hope I'm not out here. Okay, so that's all for this week's tour. Pretty short. Highlight a few things. The lettuce has got their flowers set on them, getting ready to flower, and once the flowers fall off, they'll go to seed, and then I can collect those seeds. Butternut squash is doing very well. I have a few of the fruits that are drying, shriveling, and dying. Not really sure why, but the plant seems to be really healthy, and there seems to be a lot of fruit on it, so at this point I'm not too worried about it. If I see that it's happening on most of them, then I may have to look into doing some kind of like hand pollination or something, although I don't know that it's the pollination that's an issue. I don't really know. This is the first year I've ever had anything like this happen, and I know that I've had several people on different gardening sites saying pretty much the same thing, that they've never seen this happen before. So if it is a bee pollination thing, that's scary. That's really scary, because man, without pollination we don't have food, period. And I can't think of too many things we eat that we don't need pollination for. I mean, even our animals that we eat, they have to eat. So it's just scary. Got my second set of beans coming up. They're about an inch tall or so, looking very nice, which should be about perfect, because my other beans, you know, they'll go for probably I'll have both going for a while, but that's okay. And then when the rest of the lettuce and stuff I get pulled out of there, I may end up putting in another batch of carrots. I'm not sure yet, we'll see. My onions I'll be taking out here pretty soon, excuse me, just because they're obviously not growing anymore. I'll probably start them a lot earlier next year. Like I said, again, I started them really late. I don't think really any other. I'm gonna be ripping out those peas because they're done, and letting those beans grow and get them in there. Other than that, that's about it. It's full production. It's kind of on autopilot. It's been so blasted hot out that I have been hiding during the day because it's so hot, and I'm a wimp and I don't like the heat. So I come out in the evening or early morning to do what I've got to do. But on that note, I hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, happy gardening.